This is the SuperEco SE2. It's a radical looking electric scooter with a powerful motor and 12-inch alloy wheels. Let's review this cute bike. There are a lot of electric bikes on the market these days, and this was no different. And this one doesn't need a license or registration either, like most of the budget electric bikes. Right away, let's look at this gorgeous looking digital dashboard console. This one's the green colored bike. I mean, apparently it's a mix of blue and green paint, and they kind of finished it to give this nice bluish green shimmer. So this is called the green. There is a nice black visor for the speedometer. There is a pair of DRLs integrated into the headlight, and this comes with dual projector headlamps. So in the front, there are 12-inch alloy wheels. With these low-profile tires, they look really smart, the set of wheels. They are smaller tires in terms of thickness, but it is a 90x70 profile. I think they can really support the 90x90 tires. The projector headlamps do provide good lighting, and the DRLs look great, and even in the morning with bright light. Everything here feels a little better than the last generation of electric bikes. Yes, this comes with disc brakes. In the front, it looks to me like they have 220mm or 200mm disc brakes. And this bike does come with regenerative braking. There is SuperEco branding on top of the disc brakes. I like that low profile tire setup. Sadly, the tires are not branded. So at the rear, you have the hub motor, which is integrated into the rear wheel. It's finished in black. So the rear discs are 180mm. They're not as big as the front one. The rear has dual suspension setup. So this has got some plastic coverings here, but really good finish. So the footrests are special here because they're released with the press of a button, and that's something new. I've seen push to release one, but this is a button-based system. Very nice. These have a good dual brake setup. Again, regenerative braking at this price point is amazing. Very nice to have this in a budget bike. And the rear number plate has some branding. Under the seat, there is a 25 amp battery. Clubbing that with a 1000 watt motor means a mileage of approximately 50 kilometers. That tail lamp section is huge, and it's LED setup as well. And this nice backrest with reflectors. So the button setup in the front is a little different. So you have the parking release button on top, and the bottom of that button will change the modes, driving modes. There are 3 of them. Also, you can see the headlight controls here. You have the parking light as well as a high beam flasher, which is in place of a start button. On the other side, you have the high and low beam toggle switch. There's an indicator toggle switch as well, and the horn. So there's no trip meter here which shows up all the time. I mean, it's just the trip that you take at that moment. It doesn't show you the overall kilometers done. Weird. So here's a side profile of the bike. And if you didn't notice, the handlebars finished in this nice matte finish steel color. And the bike looks really nice from the side. So the bike does come in 4 colors: green, blue, black, and white. On the other side, you have the Bosch logo on the motor. And this is a 1000 watt hub motor. There's a side stand, there's a women's footrest, as well as a main stand, which you can see from this side. And again, just walking you through how the bike looks. Let me know what you guys think about the bike's looks in the comments below. With a 25 amp battery, this bike will cost you 76,000 on road in Bangalore. The seating position is quite upright. It's very comfortable for anyone who's 5'8" to 5'11". So it should be quite comfortable. I think the riding position is quite upright and gives you a good stance. The keys themselves look nice. It's sort of a car key setup. You have a power button, which means you can switch on the bike without turning on the key. So the bike can be turned on without using the physical key. It's got a power button which will unlock the bike. There's also an alarm and an immobilizer set up inside to make it touch sensitive and goes off with a loud beep and locks the rear wheels. The ignition key has multifunction capabilities. With a twist on the right, you'll turn on the bike. With the twist on the left, it will unlock the boot. This boot is really tiny. It's about maybe 10 liters to 15 liters maximum. The battery is under this. It's pretty simple with a black setup, so there's nothing much to show you under that. There's an MCB switch to cut off power. The floorboard, and again, it's a nice looking floorboard. It's a fixed matte setup with a little bit of steel finish on it. Nice touch. It's a little high though. Let me know what you guys think. So in the front, you do have 2 pockets along with the USB charger on the left side of the bike. So if you want to put those bottles there, it fits well. Can even take your mobile phone. Regenerative braking, dual disc brakes, 50 kilometer mileage per charge. Claimed speed of about 25 to 35 kilometers per hour in the city. Full LED, dual projector headlamps. Except for that small battery, I think everything else in this bike looks and feels amazing. I think this is a really good bike. I mean, it looks really different from other bikes, but I think these things are really catching on in the market. So the charger is provided by the company, comes as a part of the package. So this one's a 60 volt system. So the battery charging voltage is about 71.4 volts, charges at 6 amps. There are some charging indicators here, which tells you the status of the charger. And the wires are pretty long. I mean, each of these wires, right from the plug point to the output wire, is about 1.5 meters long. The charging plug looks like one of those PC sockets. And when you turn this on, you do get different indications here. It tells you whether the bike is charging, and the green light indicates charging is over. And you can plug this in directly at the spot where most electric bikes get charged. And remember, this is a removable battery, so you can charge the battery separately as well. So the bike takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge it from completely drained out position. At night, this bike becomes a whole new monster. The amazing LED setup that this bike has makes it really look good and turn some heads. The display is gorgeous, first of all, right on top, so kind of pleasing to the eye when you ride it. And the front DRLs with a dual projector setup. So both these front high beam and low beam LED lights have 35 watt LED bulbs inside. So this is a full LED bike. You know, there's no halogen bulbs used. And look at the throw on that low beam. So the projector setup is amazing. I mean, if you want good road view, you want good focusing lights, this bike has it. And the high beam is pretty decent as well. So getting back to the meters, I mean, there's no physical button to reset or do anything else here. The moment you start the bike, it becomes a trip. And it has a few modes here which it shows you, you know, the battery status, ride modes, etc. But that's about it. The LED indicators are also, you know, very nice. I mean, they have this metallic finish. And the flash is pretty decent. Even at the rear, it's all integrated into that huge rear tail lamp. I'm switching over to different riding modes, and that's the only thing which you have control over in the display. That works with the flick of a button under the parking button. The rear has a nice reflector on that back seat. So let's take this out for a spin. So how does it ride? Technically, this bike is not supposed to go more than 25 kilometers per hour, but it does do a little more than that owing to that powerful torque they give you and the momentum the bike creates when it's moving because of the weight of the rider, maybe slope on the road. So these small telescopic shocks in the front are very effective. They're not the spring setup. This is a telescopic suspension. So they're really nice on, you know, small potholes. Very easy to control the bike. But when the roads get bad, you might have to slow down a bit. The bike's fairly easy to control. There's a lot of torque on this drivetrain, and it has a payload capacity of about 150 kgs. There are 3 riding modes, and this bike will easily reach speeds of 30 kilometers in mode 2. Mode 1 keeps it under 30, and mode 3, well, just under 40 or 45. Touching the brakes will cut off motor power and they could cause problems during turning, but you will get used to it. And if you're in traffic on a slope, well, all the best. Like I mentioned, when you go into big bumps, you do feel them, but these larger 12-inch tires ride better than the 10-inch e-bikes that I've ridden in the past. That floorboard does feel a bit high sometimes, and the riding position does look a little bit awkward, but you get used to it. I don't know why they still have these floorboards so high even when there are no batteries under them.
Also, space for pillion, there's barely any.
The road presence is decent. The DRLs are not too flashy, but they're very functional, and e-bikes are still new enough to turn heads. Here are some of the negatives that I found in the bike. I wish there were bigger tires, 90x90 tires, which are on the TVS Jupiter. They could have put them on this. They could have lowered the floorboard a bit. They could have used a better user manual. Right now it's just a book with very little information. And the odometer or the speedometer setup is not good enough. It has very limited functions. The good things are much better in this bike. They kind of outrank negatives a bit. So overall, interesting ride thanks to that torquey Bosch 1000-watt motor. The dual disc brake setup are excellent. No combi brakes or no ABS, but still good enough. Headlights and DRLs are amazing. This comes with an alarm and immobilizer. Very nice. And the SE2 is a very silent bike, so pedestrians may not even know you're passing by. This BLDC motor just makes the light squeal. That's all you hear. So should you pick one up? If you're looking at a non-licensed registration bike, this is much better than some of the competition bikes right now. And this is the only one I've seen with the 12-inch wheels. So do consider test riding one before you make up your mind. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Do consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching rTech, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.